Cyprus has a historical and cultural heritage. You can see various archaeological sites, choose outdoor activities or attend festivals here. Check out what else is waiting for you in Cyprus. The country, which has been famous for its beauty since ancient times, is known all over the world and willingly chosen by tourists. This imperial land does not only offer the natural beauty which can be found everywhere around the island, but also great architectural beauty. This small island is dotted with monuments that are listed largely as UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Cyprus in some ways has an atmosphere similar to Greece but also has a history that is somewhat reminiscent of cities in Croatia. It is definitely worth taking an extended vacation to enjoy the beautiful sights and charms of this magnificent place, and there is plenty to choose from. In the evening or early morning, head to Nissi Beach. 500-meter-long beach with fine white sand and turquoise water is perfect for water skiers, windsurfers and other sports enthusiasts. There is everything you need to have a great time and also to relax. Enjoy playing beach volleyball and participate in many events that take place there. Nissi is a part of 57 blue flag beaches. You don't have to take notes. We have included all the practical info in the description below the video. That's where you can also find links with accommodation, tickets to attractions and tips on how to pay abroad so as not to overpay on currency conversions. Larnaca, in the southeastern part of the island, is a seaside resort. It is definitely the most relaxing place for tourists. You can enjoy the sun and the beach. The old Turkish quarter of Scala and the ornate Agios Lazaros or Church of St. Lazarus give the city an interesting historical context. The center itself has been preserved so you can experience the atmosphere of real daily life, not just that of a summer resort. The salt lake in the western part of Larnaca is full of pink flamingos in spring. There are many mountain villages and attractions in this area. The island's largest city, Nicosia, is one of the best places in Cyprus that fully reflects the real life of those who live here. With a history dating thousands of years back, the city itself offers many interesting sights and streets to see. Upon arrival, be sure to visit the Charcoalers Tower Museum and Observatory, followed by the Salamis Mosque and the Cyprus Museum. Guests can enjoy delicious snacks at a Nama restaurant which offers some of the most delicious food and gives the opportunity to spend these moments in a beautiful garden. Those who plan to visit the Turkish side of Cyprus, known as the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, can walk through Ledra Palace, Ledra Street and Agios Domitios. You could stroll through the Paphos Archaeological Museum located near the port for hours. This is where the remains of buildings and former mansions can be found, allowing visitors to feel the history of this city. The most famous exhibits date back to Roman times. The ruins of 4 villas which are decorated with fantastic mosaics dating back to the 100th year and depicting scenes from Roman mythology are preserved here. The ancient Odeon, a small arena that is still used by the city as an event venue, dates from the same era, while the royal tombs are an underground complex supported by beautifully preserved Doric columns which are over 1,500 years old. Omodos is located in the Troodos Mountains and is one of the most interesting regions of Cyprus. Wine is not the only thing worth visiting this area for. Once you arrive, take a stroll through the cobblestone streets, visit some of the vineyards and also see the 500-year-old wine press. Alternatively, if you are not a wine connoisseur, you can visit the Monastery of the Holy Cross. It is one of the oldest and most important places of worship on the island, and every visit to this place leaves a huge impact. If you happen to have the opportunity to visit it in the summer, it is best to plan it during the annual wine festival they hold in Omodos every August. Having said that, it's worth securing a driver who can provide a ride back to the hotel after the festival. Salamis is the site of one of the largest Roman settlements that ever existed on the island. Salamis, with its markets and baths, is an excellent example of the magnificent Roman city with all its luxuries and facilities. Although it is quite a neglected place, most of the buildings are still intact. It is definitely one of the best places to visit in Cyprus. The Carpathian Peninsula is a beautiful region of Cyprus. It features golden beaches surrounded by steep hills in the northeastern part of the island. This is the least explored area of Cyprus, however, it is recommended for great walks to enjoy the scenic villages and hidden sites. This is the place to go to if you want to experience former island life. It is best to take a car tour as there is almost no public transportation. You should see the mosaics of Ayia Napa in the village of Sapahi and then drive northeast to the village of Karpas to see the ruins of the church of Agios Philon. Finally, you can stop at the peninsula's famous Golden Beach for some rest and relaxation. Aphrodite Water Park is the most popular family destination for long summer days and the largest attraction of its kind in Cyprus. There are a total of 17 roller coasters and attractions for both seniors and juniors. Those who want to feel the adrenaline rush can go on a racer. The Lazy River, which is a kilometer-long river on which you float under waterfalls and fountains, is calmer. There are deck chairs waiting at the end, where you can catch a breath. Pissouri is located exactly between two wooded areas halfway between the cities of Limassol and Paphos. Here, a relaxed Mediterranean atmosphere and authentic Cyprus spirit with taverns and rustic whitewashed houses await tourists. The village is largely untouched by mass tourism and is home to local farmers and winemakers. The central square regularly hosts town festivities. There is also a pebble and sand beach which is located below the steep cliffs of the south coast just a few steps away from the town. Nea Paphos Tombs, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is located just 2 kilometers north of Paphos port. It is an underground tomb carved from massive rocks dating back to the 4th century BC. Based on the name, you'd think it was a burial place for kings and royal families. However, only high-ranking officials were buried here. The name was inspired by the size and splendor of the tombs. The tombs are carefully fitted into shape. Today, locals and tourists come here to admire the magnificent work of the ancient sculptors. Ayia Napa has become one of the biggest party destinations in Europe and is one of the best places to visit in Cyprus if you are looking for nightclubs and entertainment until dawn. While here, be sure to visit the Blue Lagoon, relax on Nissi beach and explore the sea caves found all along the coast. Be sure to make a stop at the Bridge of Love as well. Panagia is one of the most scenic villages in Cyprus and is located on the edge of the Paphos forests. The village is one of the largest in the region and has many monasteries, basilicas, churches and cathedrals, almost all of which are dedicated to the Virgin Mary. An ideal place for those who are passionate about the Christian religion. Kolossi, near Limassol, is an ancient fortress of the Crusaders and is a reminder of what importance Cyprus held for the Europeans during their expeditions to the Holy Land. The castle, which was used by the Knights of St. John, served as the most important fortress in the region due to its perfect location. The Troodos Mountains are the largest mountains on the island with Olympus, Cyprus' highest peak. Here you'll find old villages next to terraced olive groves and vineyards laced with streams. You only have to go a little higher to see mountain peaks covered in pine trees. During winter there is even the possibility of skiing. Byzantine historic churches and monasteries are not to be missed. These medieval buildings may look modest from the outside but have amazing wall paintings. So it is essential to go inside and stop for a few moments. Salt Lake Larnaca is part of 4 salt lakes and home to numerous migrating birds. In winter, the lakes are inhabited by long-legged pink flamingos, while in summer, in high temperatures, the water evaporates to form salt crust. Historically, this salt was collected and was one of the country's most exported products. The lake is located just 4 kilometers from Larnaca International Airport. There are quite a few villages on the island and one of them is Kakopetria. This is a place where you don't just want to stay for a few days but for good. It has an atmosphere that many people consider to be the best in the world. It's hard to describe it in words, so it's best to experience it for yourself and see what the truth is. The village is an ideal place for apple lovers, which are grown here on many plantations. Vineyards are practically everywhere and bottles of homemade wine are sold in the village for very little money. Hala Sultan Tekke is the fourth most important holy place of worship for Islam. It is believed that Haran, the aunt of Prophet Muhammad's father, died here. A mosque was built over her grave. Tekke is open to all people regardless of their religion. Cyprus has no shortage of ancient monuments, however Kourion is one of the most interesting. It is beautifully situated, on a seaside rock overlooking the countryside and the Mediterranean Sea. It is safe to say that it is a magical place. The whole place is huge, but the most famous part is the theatre and the House of Eustolios, which has beautiful, well-preserved mosaics. For those who have more time, there is a grand Byzantine basilica with columns and floor mosaics. Paphos Zoo was once a private menagerie of local merchant and animal collector Christos Christophorou. At the turn of the century, Christophorou decided to open his zoo to tourists to showcase his collection and educate visitors about animal welfare. The zoo is in a landscaped setting with gardens and ponds. There are monkeys, giraffes, tigers, white lions or kangaroos. One of the most interesting places in the area is the bird zone with more than 200 species. The cuisine of Cyprus is practically identical to that of Greece or Turkey. The menus of local restaurants often include typical grilled dishes or stews. Usually rice, bulgur or legumes are offered as appetizers. Be sure to try the meze while you're here. Traditionally, many appetizers such as halloumi, talaturi, a type of tzatziki or fried vegetables are served here. Other typical dishes include kupipia or stuffed vine leaves, koops, minced meat rolls, shiftalia, a sausage dish, tahana soup, Cyprus lasagna or zucchini with eggs. Cyprus was a colony of Great Britain before left-hand traffic is established all over the island including North Cyprus. Note that in North Cyprus, in military facilities and at border crossings it is prohibited to take photographs. Euro is the currency, and so you can easily exchange money before you travel. Note that the Cyprus time is 1 hour ahead of Polish time. Vacations in Cyprus can be planned all year round. Temperatures are very high in the summer, but even in winter it does not get very cold. During that time there are fewer tourists and you can explore the country with pleasant temperatures oscillating around 15 to 18 degrees in peace and quiet. If you're already planning your trip, you can find accommodation and tickets to attractions on the spot in the links under the video description. You can also order a card for cheap payments abroad the same way. Press the bell and subscribe to our channel if you want to receive notifications about new episodes. Have a nice trip.